Welcome back to Maybe Actually Museums Are For Me. I'm Alex, host of the podcast, and I am excited to welcome Melissa back to the show. We're doing another art news episode, so yeah, I always look forward to these. Melissa, how are you? What's going on?
I'm good.
Yeah, you're good. It's been a minute since you were on the podcast.
It has been a minute, but I gotta keep being on the pod. I have to make sure that Audrey doesn't overtake me in number of episodes.
Yeah, she's getting up there.
Yeah.
So for our audience who this maybe is your first art news episode, essentially once a month, give or take, Melissa and I will sit down and we'll comb through Hyperallergic, the New York Times, etc., and kind of look for eye-catching headlines. Sometimes, like when the Louvre went on strike, breaking news, different things. We are not a news podcast. I want to make that very clear. We are very far from a news podcast, but sometimes it is good to just like kind of get an idea of like what is happening in the art world, because even though paintings can often be old and historical, and people might look at museums as a static thing, the art world is not static. It's constantly moving and changing. And I think it's just, having moments and episodes like this is a good time to talk about that. So, Melissa, do you want to start or should I start?
You start.
I'll start? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I was scrolling on the New York Times and I came across a headline that jumped out at me because it was a big number and a big name.
Okay.
So essentially, after not paying the $14.5 million owed for a Jackson Pollock work, an art collector has been sued. Essentially, Phillips Auctioneers, they filed a lawsuit against a third-party guarantor who agreed to buy a Jackson Pollock painting that essentially didn't sell at auction. I didn't know anything about how this works and stuff. I really don't know much about the world of art auctions and art sales, especially at like this high of a level. But from what I understand, and this has become common practice, it's a way to pretty much insure yourself. An auction house can like insure themselves when it comes to the sale of a work. And so what'll happen is a painting will go up for auction. And essentially, if there's no bids or there's no winning bids or whatever, it doesn't get purchased. Essentially, before it goes up for auction, somebody is willing to buy it for the minimum. And so there's already a predetermined sale that will happen if you don't hit X number. And this is very common practice. It happens all the time. And essentially, if the work does sell, the person who essentially guaranteed the work gets a kickback. And that's always like, it's never disclosed what the kickback is, but it's a percentage of the sale. And, sometimes these works are selling for $4, $5, $6, $10, $11 million. In this case, the Jackson Pollock piece that didn't sell was worth $14.5 million. And now they're suing the guy, because he's not ponying up the money.
Okay. So basically I'm assuming he's saying, I actually don't want to buy this work anymore. And
that's not necessarily the case. So the person who was supposed to buy the painting was a gentleman by the name of David Mimran. I might be getting the name wrong, but I think it's Mr. Mimran. He's the son of a sugar baron, very old money. He's a known art collector in the world. He's allegedly, from what I understand, has owned a Pollock painting in the past. And so for the auction house, he was a trusted name. They kind of knew that he was somebody that, had interest, was willing to put up the money. And this is not any ordinary painting. The work, it was an untitled Pollock piece that was created in 1948, and it actually displayed at the Museum of Modern Art in 1998 retrospective. It's quite stunning, actually. And that's kind of what surprises me, is like they're kind of in this situation where this person won't purchase the painting. He doesn't have the cash. He's pretty much like pleading that he's bankrupt or he's out of money or whatever.
Okay.
And that he can't afford it. And kind of the lawsuit is kind of saying like, well, why'd you even I think the quote was like, "Why'd you raise the paddle then?"
The piece didn't sell at auction. And so this was the person who said, "I'll buy it if it doesn't sell." And now it didn't sell. And
Exactly.
Now he's saying, "Wait, no, I'm not going to buy it."
Okay. Exactly. Now he's saying, "I don't have the money. I'm not going to buy it." And the auction house is essentially saying, like, "Why did you even promise the money if you didn't have it?" And so it's kind of,
I'm sure in his head he never thought it wouldn't sell.
Yeah,
but still, it's like, why would you even make that promise? Is it like a prestige thing to be like, I can buy a Pollock work? Or
it's one of those things that, like, I don't know, like it's kind of strange because I feel like usually, and I'm saying usually as if I like am reading about these all the time and I hear about these all the time, which is not the case, but like from what I would think is that like somebody like Mr. Memrin would like be running away from this and trying to hide and whatever, and he's like being like shockingly upfront. He's like, I don't have the money. I'm not able to pay it. I love the painting, but like, I'll pay it. He's even saying like, I'll buy it a little later. Like,
but right now I don't have the finances to do it.
And so now Phillips, which is the auction house, they are seeking $15 million from Mr. Memrin, and that includes the original price of the painting, as well as accrued interest. And even like the guy is like, even like, he's acknowledged that he owes the debt. Like he's not trying to like
not trying to run away.
Which is like so interesting.
That is very interesting.
But it's like from what I also have gathered, like they've done transactions in the past. So like I think the auction house is just the most shocked because it's like this is a person that like has been trusted and they're just like essentially like, oh, sorry, can't do it.
I wonder, because obviously, like you said, you don't really know about auctions. I don't either. Like I know very little. But I wonder if that relationship of like the what would you call it, grandeur? Or
the guarantor.
The guarantor. If there's like a formal contract, I imagine there has to be a formal contract.
Yeah, I think it's like a form of betting for some people too. Like I don't know if that's necessarily what this guy was thinking, but like from what I understand is that like a lot of wealthy art collectors will essentially use this in two ways. It's mostly a way to make money. You're not actually buying the piece of art. You're hoping that it goes up to auction and sells, and then maybe you get a kickback of a couple $100,000 or whatever, which is probably what this guy wanted. He was probably honestly short on cash and was hoping that it would sell, and it didn't sell, and now he's in the whole $15 million. And like, I don't really want to say that's a bummer because like that's on you, but
it's on him. And also I get Phillips where they're like, we have a contract
and you've worked with us before.
You're voiding the contract, and
your father's a billionaire.
We have every right to be like, you need to give us money.
Yeah, your
essentially you don't have.
Your father's a sugar baron. I'm sure. Like, it's
get
just
someone
like,
to loan you the money. I don't know.
But I think I'll kind of leave it on this. One of the things, the quotes that I thought was really interesting is like, the art world is like not forgiving. And especially when it comes to like collecting, and essentially like the idea that like you've now like dug yourself into this hole and you have now shown that you're not trustworthy.
No one's ever going to sell you anything.
Ever going to sell you anything ever again.
Yeah.
And it's just like, wow. That's like, So
maybe he has to sell one of his other works.
Yeah. And it's like, it's just interesting because it's like, it's one of those things where it's like, usually when you hear about these, like, these art dealings gone awry, it's like, it feels like a very like slimy, almost like underground kind of backhand dirty deal, which is not obviously always the case. Like that's very much just like the Hollywood of it.
Yeah.
But like, it's just like I was reading this article and I was almost like, this is newsworthy, but like it does, like it's the more shocking thing aside from just the number that it's worth and the actual artist who name ID is the fact that like
he's talking about
he's so like he's like, no, I screwed up, like I'm sorry.
It's amazing that like I'm thinking about this now, how in this article you're reading he's like quoted or whatever, like
he's talking about
talking about like, normally I feel like it would be like Mr.
like on background
Manani, like refuse to comment or something, or like,
Anyway, so that's what's going on. $14.5 million Jackson Pollock. What I want to know, last thought, is like, I could be wrong, but like I feel like I'm just so used to, especially like Jackson Pollock, like 14.5 is a lot of money. It's a whole lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
But like, why doesn't a museum just buy it? Like, I don't think it's like that like outrageous of a price, especially for like how many Jackson Pollocks are like going onto the market, especially one that's like no one's putting bids on.
Yeah.
Like, and it's shown at the MoMA. Like, it has a pretty decent it's like it has a decent provenance. So it's like, it's just interesting that like it's unwanted right now, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess all things ebb and flow in terms of popularity and whether the market is saturated with a certain type of art or artist. But yeah, I don't know.
Anyway, blow me away with yours. What do you got?
I was so excited when I saw this.
You wouldn't tell me what the news was.
Because I wanted your reaction. It's okay. So we're revisiting an old friend with this.
Okay.
So the title was, I got this from Art News, by the way. That's where I always go for my quote unquote art news.
Yes.
But the title of this article is "Someone Ate Maurizio Catalun's famous duct tape banana again." And it says again at the end. I was like, oh, was that our first art news one or one of our very first ones?
That was one of the first
where we
ones.
talked about the famous banana.
So he made another banana.
Well, okay, so I was reading
Did he grow the banana this time?
I don't
like,
think
what?
so. So this piece is called Comedian, and it's this conceptual artwork that features a real banana duct taped to a wall. And there's a couple different versions of it or iterations that are in a couple different places. They've been auctioned off. This one was at a museum, Centre Pompidou Metz in France. And apparently a visitor just like walked up and took it off the wall and like started eating it like a banana. And like, because it is a banana. But and the museum staff like kind of quickly intervened. But the thing that struck me was that they were able to replace the banana within a couple minutes, because I was like, wait, how could did they just get another random banana? And but no, it's because this is a perishable item. That part of owning it is that the artist, he leaves instructions that the banana needs to be swapped out regularly.
I remember from the last time we talked about this, there was like I don't want to say how many pages, because I don't remember, but like dozens of pages of instructions on this banana.
Yeah, so I guess but at what point is that not his artwork anymore? Because it's like, who is, I guess the curator is removing the duct tape, taking the banana off the wall, replacing it with another banana, and redoing the duct tape.
I guess so. But I mean, like, at what point is the urinal not Duchamp's urinal? You know what I mean?
What is it? What's that ship where it's like, at what point is this not this anymore? Where it's like they dug up this ship, and I'm going to look this up because I'm going to reference it.
Okay. Yeah, it's just like, it's one of those things to me that like, I don't know. I'm just trying to think back to the first time we talked about this. And like, I remember that like the guy who ate it the last time was like the actual owner of the piece. Like he bought the piece and he ate it. And like, that was his own, that was his like his own statement. But like, I remember also somewhere, and I could be misquoting, so like, don't hold this to me factually, but like, I feel like I remember reading something along the lines of like the banana that the fruit stand that the banana was purchased at, like he like either like gave money or something to like the owner of that fruit stand, like so to me, like the fact that there's multiple bananas now is like kind of crazy, because like before it was like, oh, it's this one singular banana that I picked up off this fruit stand or truck or whatever, and you know, that is the sole banana. But like, to know that there's multiple iterations of this that have multiple bananas that can kind of just be like locked and loaded is kind of absurd.
So I was referencing the ship of Theseus, where it's this ancient ship where it's like every single part of it has been restored or replaced, that not a single part of it is like the original woodwork or the original part of the ship. So it's like, is this still the ship of Theseus, or is it like, you know,
I think it's a different ship.
Yeah. So anyway, so it's kind of like this, but yeah. So apparently this article goes into how this artwork debuted in 2019 at Art Basel Miami Beach, and that piece sold for $120,000, and then other editions were sold for much higher amounts, which the one we talked about was like the $6.2 million one that was sold to that like crypto billionaire, and he also ate the banana at a press conference. So
again, like I think that was him doing his own like statement or not political, but like his own like artistic performance piece.
Yeah, and like again, other versions have been eaten. Someone ate it, claiming he was hungry. Like another artist who had bought one of the editions, and you know, and it seems like Maurizio, like he finds the whole thing humorous because he responded to this incident saying how the visitor shouldn't have eaten only the banana. He should have eaten the peel and the duct tape as well, because then he would have actually been consuming like the actual artwork. So yeah, it's just, you know, artwork that keeps on giving, I guess.
Interesting. Anything else on this, Melissa? Because the $6.2 million banana never seems to die.
We'll see if it crops up again in a couple of months. But also, it seems like no harm, no foul.
At what point
like, they were able to fix it fairly quickly?
At what point does this just become tired, though? Like, at what point does the banana kind of chaos end? Because I thought it was like, I thought it kind of had, it blew up in its pinnacle was the $6.2 million banana, and then it felt like the owner of that piece essentially was riding the coattails of it by eating it, and then it fizzled immediately. And so now we're back eating just like a different banana in a different museum, and it's like a different thing. And I don't know, I think it's humorous, and I'm sure we will always talk about it when it comes up. But like, at what point is this sort of thing tired? And like the banana duct tape is like, or I mean, like it's I guess that's kind of like, at what point are ready-mades gonna, like, you know, not be in style? I guess it's like a question also, but like that's not, maybe, I mean, you would know better than me. Is that like what I'm talking about, or am I just saying a whole lot of nothing?
Even before this, seeing this art news article, I've been seeing the banana around, because have you seen those like meta commercials with Chris Hemsworth and Chris Pratt?
With the
glasses? Yeah, one of those
is the banana.
It's the banana where they're like, oh, like, so I guess it's never gonna die, or it's never gonna like.
I guess it's just gonna live in eternity in like one of those just art as stunt, definitely. And I think, you know, maybe, I think of maybe like shred, like the what was the painting that got shredded?
Oh, the Banksy.
The Banksy, that got shredded at
I feel like it's one of those. It will be in that artistic canon of art auction, as opposed to the art historical canon. Which you were kind of, sorry, I'm trying to remember what you were actually asking before about.
I guess I was asking like when, I was saying like, when is this, not to call it like a fad, but like when is this genre of art going to kind of become tired and kind of fade away? And then I kind of corrected myself, and I was like, well, like if you think about like the Duchamp and the ready-mades and stuff, like those don't necessarily go away, and like
they just different iterations come
like
out.
Even Nadia Mir has ready-mades, you know, the indigenous artist that we have on view in Interwoven Power, who has the basket that's made of the tobacco pipes. When she came and did a talk, like she showed like ready-mades that she's produced, and it's like, so it's like I feel like I think of ready-mades as like this like lost in time sort of thing.
You do think of Duchamp with the bicycle and the shovel and the urinal, like but people are making ready-mades or that type of art today. Maybe they don't classify them as ready-mades.
Yeah.
I feel like that's an issue too that sometimes happens with like the art historical canon, where like a certain term or movement gets so stuck in attached to one person or one time period, where you think ready-made is like, oh well, that's just that's Duchamp, and that's
it's like
that time period, and
it's
like, well, no, artists are still using that art form very prevalently, but you know, people are only seeing part of the picture, or they're only seeing part of the narrative.
Yeah, it's like pop art, Warhol, surrealism, Salvador Dali, and it's like, you know, the same kind of thing. But anything else, Melissa?
Just that I can't say whether the banana will be like remembered or like a part of art history canon or whatever, but I think this type of art that's kind of meant to be joking and provocative stunts that happen around it, that's gonna keep happening, you know, just in different iterations and just severity and popularity.
Interesting. All right, well, on that note, I think this was a good episode of our art news kind of recap. This has been Maybe Actually Museums Are For Me. Thanks so much for sticking around to the end of this episode. If you like what we're doing, rate, follow, subscribe wherever it is that you stream podcasts. We really appreciate it. You can follow us on Instagram. We're at Ma'am Montclair on Instagram. You can find us on TikTok. We're just the Montclair Art Museum there. You can find us on YouTube. Just search the Montclair Art Museum. We're open Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We got a lot going on this fall, which we're really looking forward to. And right now, because we are gearing up for the fall exhibitions, some of our galleries are closed. Thus, those that are open are available to be seen at a discounted price. So right now, tickets are only $8. It's a good deal, so you should come by. Thanks again for sticking around to the end of this episode, and we will talk to you next week.
Bye.
Bye.